Welcome back, guys, and if you're new to my channel, my name is Tony, aka Blayboy. I have to apologize to my subscribers for the gap in content that you've experienced for the last couple weeks. It's because I got COVID and I was laid up in bed for a week or so, but I'm feeling better, feeling more like myself, and I'm ready to bring you some brand new content. So today, drumroll please, we have a review for set number 72032. This is the Standard Kart from the new Mario Kart sub-theme. It comes with 174 pieces and retails for $19.99 USD. We'll get into the whole price per piece and value analysis later on in the review, but just giving you some brief thoughts. When these new Mario Kart sets were revealed, I was both excited and a little bit disappointed because it felt like a missed opportunity to finally bring out those Mario minifigures that fans like myself have been asking for ages. But they decided to stick with this scale, and I'm trying to keep an open mind because I do love Mario, obviously, and I do still have my interactive Mario figure collecting dust in my closet. So let's put this bad boy together, give him something to do, and I will give you my thoughts. Stay tuned. So, before we get into the review of the set itself, I know my viewers enjoy when we take a closer look at the box and its contents. And in the case of this set, just like the last one, the artwork is delightfully faithful to the source material. If you're like me and you've played any amount of Mario Kart, there are going to be some staples here that are immediately identifiable to you, like the green and red shells, as well as the banana for your cart to slip on. Even the cart itself, I believe, has been featured in games before, so that's really good what they've done here. As far as the concept of a pit crew toad, I'm not completely familiar with him, but I do appreciate the fact that they've included a new variant of the Toad character for the people that do collect the Mario theme. And they've also included a pilot for this cart because, just like any set from the flagship Mario theme, the box does tell you that the set doesn't come with an interactive figure. So you're going to need somebody to drive this cart, and I think the Pit Crew Toad will do just fine. I took the liberty of slicing open the box off camera, but as far as its contents, well, we get to experience the joy of discovery together. So let's see what's inside here, shall we? And I'm immediately relieved to see paper instructions. Any of the flagship Mario sets that I've ever put together only ever had digital instructions, so this is a sight for sore eyes. However, I am not relieved to see stickers. None of the Mario sets I've ever put together have ever had stickers, so this feels like a bit of a miss. And the glider, if I'm being honest, this material feels a little bit cheap, but it looks nice enough. And we've got 2 bags of Lego bricks ready to be put together. So let's go! And here's the completed build, which means it's time to give you my thoughts. Of course, we'll start with the side build here, featuring a couple of printed elements. The first being this target, which is nothing new. It's something I've seen in lots of sets across several themes. However, if you look at the print quality here, it's a little bit sus. That red ring is clearly off-centered, but other than that, it's a nice bit to have. And as for this printed element here, I do enjoy the console. Kind of reminds me of something from Classic Space, if I'm being honest, and I might end up repurposing it for that. I've got the wrench, which is mounted to a clip there, and then of course one of these little QR scanning elements for the interactive Mario figures, which we'll take a look at later. Then, of course, there is the main build, the standard card itself, and there's a lot to unpack here, so I'll try to move quickly. First up, looking at the front bumper, there is a printed M Mario element, which is nice to have. Then, of course, we already talked about the cheap-feeling vinyl material that the glider is made out of, and it's a little bit unfortunate, but it looks nice enough. It is secured via Technic elements, and the color matching here is nice, except, of course, for that center bracket, which is a little bit unsightly. Fortunately, that is covered up by the glider in most angles, so you won't have to worry about that too much. Then there's the elephant in the room, the stickers that are included in this set, and I did not enjoy applying these one bit. Obviously, it's never fun applying a sticker to a round tile element, but in this case, I truly don't understand why they didn't just print these, especially considering they're identical, so really they'd only have to design one and then toss 4 of them in the box. But I digress. I put them on as best I could, and they look all right. Then we do have dual molded shell elements, both green and red. And the interesting thing here that I didn't realize is that they've implemented it into their stud shooter system. Now, I've never been a fan of stud shooters, but I think it's rather ingenious how they've done this. And of course, we'll be testing it out a little bit later on in the review. Moving the pit crew Toad out of the way, we do have a printed banana peel element, which is adorable and faithful to the source material, so we love to have that. And then, of course, another scannable QR for the interactive Mario figure, which we'll be testing out later on in this review as well. As for the card itself and the size of it, flipping it over, you'll see that it is 8 studs wide, which is comparable to a Speed Champions set, of which I own none for a few reasons. Not the least of which is that 8 stud wide vehicles, as I've mentioned before, don't really fit into a Lego City layout in my opinion. And then, of course, they're not really truly minifigure scale. I mean, if you take a look at Pit Crew Toad here, I mean, he's actually kind of close to the size of a minifigure, I suppose. We'll throw him on the cart here, and I mean, he doesn't look completely silly like a minifigure probably will. Spoiler alert, we'll be checking that out. But he doesn't look as good as the interactive Mario figure will look, I'm sure. But that's about it. I suppose I should mention that the construction of this standard cart was rather simplistic. Of course, I'm no master builder, but it seems appropriate for a 7+ set. Much of this cart is built using clicked hinges like these turbocharged boosters on the back, as well as the glider mount with the Technic elements. And you'll want to be aware of that when you're driving your cart around, because it's pretty easy to bump this and set it out of its, default position. Now let's have a little fun, shall we? Disclaimer, I have not tested out these shell shooters yet, but let's do a little target practice. Let's see if I can line this up. Ready, aim, fire. Oh, dead on, first hit. I don't even want to shoot another one because I'm going to miss the second time. Okay, the shell shooters are kind of a blast. No pun intended. If this is the first review of this set that you've watched, then this might be the moment you've been waiting for. Here is the interactive Mario figure. Let's see how he goes with this set. First QR code. Well, what the heck does that mean? Showing like a phone waving. All right, gonna have have to do some Googling. Let's move on. And once again, we've got a phone situation. And I'm starting to realize this is probably like an app thing that they want us to do. Wah, wah, wah. Fail. Alrighty, take two. After a good night's sleep and a bit of Googling, it turns out that the odd icon that had appeared on the interactive Mario's chest was letting me know that I needed to update the figure. And therein lies the issue with these interactive figures, but I'll get into that more later. For now, needless to say, I managed to update the Mario figure via a cumbersome sort of app situation, and now he is ready to scan some barcodes. Let's start first with the side build. And we've got a cute pit crew sort of animation, and you get some coins for making that stop. Let's put him onto the cart. Apologies, I'm doing this one-handed. Get an engine revving sound as he sits on the barcode. Horn honking when you tilt back. It's already ready to fall off. Let's try forward. Braking sound. Seems like the engines get louder as you move around. And once again, he wants to fall off. Let's see if you raise him up, if the glider does anything. It's supposed to, but the accelerometers or whatever sensors inside of the Mario figure aren't really working. There it is. So we're flying around. And that's okay. Well, my thoughts here are just about any time I've used this figure. It's okay. It's not great. Moving right past that, there was one other thing that I wanted to try, which, if you've ever played GameCube, there is a Mario Kart iteration called Mario Kart Double Dash. And when I first saw this set and the pit crew Toad, the very first thing I thought was, I wonder if he would fit on the cart with Mario, like in Double Dash. Let's give it a shot, shall we? Put Mario on the front there. Well, no, maybe we'll move him back. Maybe we'll move him back. It seems like that might be the only thing that works. Toad, see if we can squeeze him in there. Nope. Next, I wanted to do some experimenting with minifigures. Let's see how these look on the standard cart. All right, Leif. Yep, that looks really silly. But let's see if we can do our double dash configuration now. And that kinda works. So there is that. Yeah, and this is what it looks like with two minifigures. Got Fauna on the back there holding the banana peel. And this kind of works. Again, the scale is wrong, but I do like that double dash effect. So what are my final thoughts? Do I think this set is worth your hard-earned $20 cash? Well, I think it depends on what you're trying to get out of it. If you're looking at this as a standalone product consisting of 174 pieces and costing $20 US, the value proposition is there, especially considering it's close enough to that 10 cents price per piece that we find palatable. And the build experience itself, while being simplistic, was enjoyable, with its highlights, of course, being things like I gotta be honest, I love the shell shooting integration with the stud shooter. That was a pleasant surprise. It just works so great. Quick demonstration again here. On the money, love that. But on the negative side of things, I do have to talk about the integration with the interactive Mario figure. It was a fun novelty, as it often is. The word I would use to describe it would be clunky. And that's been my experience with any of the flagship Mario themed sets. You try to place your interactive figure onto some studs and it just doesn't feel very secure. Notice I'm putting a lot of pressure on there. If I try to drive around on the cart a bit here, watch what happens. He immediately falls off of the cart. Now, I'm setting aside all of the other issues with the interactive figures. That is a huge product flaw and it's difficult to look past. So if I were you, like I said, I would look at this as a standalone product and it's a pretty enjoyable one. I don't regret spending my $20 on it and I don't think you would either. That being said, I don't plan on buying any more of the Mario Kart sub-theme, not unless I find it on a deep discount, because while I did enjoy this product, it's pretty obvious that they're still really pushing the interactive figure integration, and that is illustrated with the fact that I couldn't even scan the barcodes without using the app to update the figure to even be able to enjoy the integration, and that was a whole cumbersome experience that really detracted for me. But those are my final thoughts. If you enjoyed this review, please like and subscribe the video, and we'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.